Hey, welcome back to the shop. This is Zach over at NV Woodwerks. Weekly update time. So, just a little bit of an announcement. Don't forget the 2x4 challenge is going on over at Summers Woodworking. And I got my 2x4. It's glued up. And that's all I'm going to do for now. It's just a little teaser. But make sure that you get your project, idea, and then get it built, and then upload the video and get into that playlist, and you will be entered into a chance for some prizes. So, pretty cool stuff. And if you're not going to compete or enter a project, definitely check out the videos, because I've seen the last couple of years projects and the creativity and just the ingenuity that people, what people can do with a 2x4 is amazing. So definitely check that out this year and follow along, see all the projects. I am sponsoring that. I got a couple of the sagebrush pen blanks that I tossed in with some pen kits to go with it. So those prizes will be available to, I don't exactly know how the prizes are being distributed or whatever, or how winners are even chosen, but they're available or up for grabs, and there's a ton of other prizes in there too. So check that out. I'll have links to one thing. There are a couple stipulations. I believe you need to have your final project needs to be like 80% 2x4. You could use other materials like hardware and stuff like that, but 80% of the project needs to be a 2x4, I believe. Don't quote me on that. So I'm going to have a link to all these, rules. I think the other thing is you need to have, and I don't exactly know what, I haven't looked this up yet myself, but you have to have the Summers Woodworking logo somehow on your project. I don't know exactly that. So I'm going to have a link. I'm going to look it up, and I'll have a link so you can find out what the rules are. But it's over at Summers Woodworking, that channel. So Brian over there, he's been running it for a couple of years and doing a great job. So definitely support him, and check out all of the competition. What am I talking about? All of the challengers, I should say. So I don't know what I'm doing. It's Saturday. But for my shop, this week has been pretty interesting. So I did do a little bit of casting out an order for some Auburn University pen blanks that I did. A couple other things, but not a whole lot of casting really, just kind of couple small orders and stuff. This week, one thing I want to start with, which I forgot to mention last week, I got some stickers from Steve Carmichael and Sean Rubino. So Sponge and Works and I can't talk today. Carmichael Workshop. Thank you guys for sending these stickers. I was going to put them on the pressure pot, but I wanted to make sure that I showed everybody your cool stickers and talked about it. So they will be going on today. Thank you very much for those. I'm going to be making stickers too. I just keep forgetting to order them. But I will have stickers available, and I'll probably be sending some out to all the YouTube guys and people that have sent me stickers. I want to, return the favor a little bit. And so those will be coming soon, and I'll let you know about that. But stickers are cool. I love this, the support, putting them somewhere so that you're kind of supporting everybody on YouTube. It's awesome. So if you have a YouTube channel and you haven't gotten a sticker made like me, definitely get it, because you pass them out, share it around, and people love getting them. A lot of people do, at least. So I do. So pretty cool stuff. So in the shop this week, a couple things. So I finally did turn some of the duck calls. Now I don't have them here because two of them I needed to get out. They're actually an order. That's how I even started getting into duck calls. But I got 4 more to do. And I do want to kind of retract my statement about the double die stabilizing. I was a little bit harsh on it, saying I don't know if it's really worth my time. And that was just based on the blanks, not turned or anything like that. Well, the results that I got from these blanks, they turned out amazing. Now, I will stipulate that you really want to use wood that is pretty figured. Like, you want to use some nice wood to do this die process. You're going to get some amazing, flat out amazing results. So I used bird's eye maple, and it has some figure and stuff in it, and the blanks turned out pretty good. There are a few that I'm guessing are going to be pretty plain Jane. There's some color in it, but not really that kind of rippling effect with the figure. So standard wood, not really sold on double dyeing unless you just really want some color in there throughout for a turning. But as far as this mandrel goes, this thing was awesome. So it's got a number 2 Morse taper. You just stick that in the headstock on the lathe, the spindle, and it does have threading on the one side that that goes into the spindle. So you could bolt it and keep it connected just in case there's any problems or anything like that. Maybe your taper's not really tight. I found I didn't really need it, but once I have the thing on there, when I'm putting it in, I actually will give it a little bit of a tap with like a vinyl tipped hammer, like the plastic tipped hammer, just give it a little tap, and that it didn't move or do anything. So, but in certain cases, you might want to actually, I think they call it like a cinch bar or something like that, where you're like bolting this thing on, and it ain't gonna twist or come off or anything like that. Now, the way this works, again, you drill a 5/8 inch hole in your duck call blank, and you know it's gonna go onto this shaft. There's knurling on this shaft. There's a couple different ones that Webfoot sells. I got the one with knurling because I figured that would really grab onto the blank. Now, I made one little mistake. So, I bought a 5/8 inch mandrel. I'm drilling a 5/8 inch hole. The problem is, when you knurl something, if it started at 5/8, you're actually pushing the metal out a little bit. So, Webfoot sells one that's slightly undersized, slightly under 5/8, and this is again for duck calls. I'm not sure if goose calls use a 5/8. I'm not sure about anything else, but for duck calls where you're just using the inserts, 5/8 is what you're going to drill the hole for because that's what the insert fits. But on this mandrel, I would actually recommend getting the one that's slightly undersized, and it's going to work out a little bit better. I've had to kind of re-drill, like ream the holes in these things and then twist and do all this stuff, but it's working fine. But if I had to do it over again, I'd get the smaller one. But ooh, a little dusty. So you just jam it on there, and then there's a screw, an Allen screw. You use an Allen wrench, and it just expands that mandrel and grips tight on the inside of that hole you drilled, and you just turn it, pretty free. You can flip it around and do both sides. It made it really nice, and I gotta say, duck calls are extremely fun to turn. I don't know that there's anything that's not fun to turn, I guess, but I had a really good time with this because you're really putting, coves and all that kind of stuff in it. It's not just kind of a flat pen, and it's a little bit of a bigger piece than a pen or something like that. You get something kind of substantial that you're really working on. You can put some really nice, lines and curves on it, and it's pretty simple. You get good results. So I had a good time. Now, I also have some little cutoffs from the original blanks. I made them pretty big, actually pretty long. So I'm going to make some bottle stoppers with this dyed stuff and see how that works out. But just wanted to do a little update. And again, that mandrel is from Webfoot Custom Calls. So I'll have a link to their site. Really nice piece of equipment. Not cheap necessarily, but it's going to last you forever. So it's a good piece. So moving on, let's see here. Diami sent me some timber strand. And this is an OSB, oriented strand board product that is basically dimensional lumber rather than a sheet good. They use it for trusses and stuff like that, and 2x4s. And a few months ago, Diami asked me if it would be possible to stabilize this product, and I really didn't know what it was off the bat, and I couldn't get any, so he ended up just sending me some cutoffs that he found. And we're gonna try and stabilize it because he wants to use it for something, but it's a little bit soft. It's kind of like for framing, for timber framing, or house framing walls. 2x4s are made usually with like Douglas fir or something like that. It's a soft, bendy, but strength, strong tensile strength, I believe is what you would call it. But the wood is pretty soft. You can beat on it and it's gonna dent easily. This is kind of the similar thing, and he just wanted to do something with these and see if he could get it just rigid, a little bit harder. So I said, sure, I'll do some tests. Now, I'm going to do a couple things with this. First thing, and this is partly for my own curiosity, but I also bought some Minwax wood hardener, and I just want to see what effect that has. I'm going to put it on this OSB stuff, the timber strand, and I'm also going to use like a cherry or some other kind of wood like that that's a little bit softer, and just compare the results between this OSB material stuff and just normal wood. But I want to see what the results are with this, because for most people, if you just want to make something a little bit harder, you got punky wood or whatever, and you don't need to fully stabilize the stuff, you're not going to go buy a vacuum chamber and a vacuum pump and do all this stuff when you could just buy something like this, dunk it in a bucket, and pull it out, let it dry, and it'll harden. That's how this is supposed to work. So I'm going to try this out because it may be, for Diami, it may be a better choice than having to go have someone stabilize it or whatever. Now, the other thing is I'm also going to do full vacuum stabilization with my Turntex equipment. Now, the thing is, I don't know how, I guess this stuff, or even the cactus juice, I don't know what it's going to how it's going to react with this. There's glues in here. These things are just little chopped strands of wood that have been pressed under heavy duty pressure. So I really don't know what to expect with this, but we're gonna check it out. And I'm also, again, gonna do something similar, like maybe even just pine. I might just use 2x4 material and just try and stabilize it, see what the difference is, because that's a little bit maybe more similar type of product. So we'll do some testing and I'll let you know how the results come out. All right, so the exciting news, or what I'm most excited about, I should say, this week is I finally got my own bowl gouge, and it's a sweet bowl gouge. It's actually, I got the Thompson Lathe Tools system in a sense. So what it is, I got this handle. It's an aluminum handle. You have to use an Allen wrench to lock these guys in, but you have individual steels that you can buy, from my perspective, I think that it's easier to do it this way. It's actually, I think, a little bit cheaper, and you don't have a bunch of handled tools that are sitting around. These things are tiny, you know. I got 4 in my hand right here, tiny, plus 1 or, you know, a couple handles, something like that. Now, what I ended up buying was a couple of 1/2-inch tool steels. One's a bowl gouge, one's a spindle gouge, and I got a couple of 3/8, same thing, bowl gouge and a spindle gouge. Now, this handle will, as far as I know, I don't think this thing will work with the 3/8. I think it's only for the 1/2-inch ones. And I kind of knew that. I knew that on, you know, up front. I wasn't sure that I was going to love this handle because it's aluminum. The other thing is this Allen wrench system of locking your tool steels in, I don't love, because this little Allen wrench, you know you're going to lose that thing. It's tiny. But the other thing was I wasn't sure about using an aluminum handle, and I've turned a bowl now with this thing already, and it's a nice handle. It feels great. There's no problem. One of the things that I do like actually about this is this end the handle's hollow, and you can unscrew this cap on the end and add weight, like shot or something like that, BBs, sand, whatever. And it came filled already, and it's hefty. It seriously is a nice, well-built piece of equipment, and free engraving, custom made for NV Woodworks. That's awesome. So I am super thrilled. The first bowl, I don't have it right here with me, so I'll throw a picture up, but turned my first bowl. It's that same one. It was that piece of pine that I had that didn't look like a bowl at all. I mounted it on my lathe, and using this bowl gouge, man, this thing cut nice. I was a little bit more confident for some reason. This thing's a 20-inch handle, so it gave me good leverage and everything was all comfy. And I turned that bowl and it turned out okay. I'm not super ecstatic about the lines of it, but I had a good time. I turned a bowl and fun. Man, I can't wait to turn my next bowl, let's just say. So pretty cool stuff. All right, so I had a couple of viewer photos this week. I got one sent from Terry. He did a pen casting blank made from Alumilite Clear, I believe is the resin. 7 colors in this thing. It is phenomenal, and the pen turned out awesome. So thanks for sending that in. Awesome job on that casting, Terry. And the other one was from Frank. He made one of the carbide cutting tools, similar to what I made. He used 3/8-inch bar stock for his metal part, and then I'm not sure what size cutter it is, but it's like one of the medium size, maybe like a 12 or 13 or something like that millimeter. And did the handle out of wood and all that stuff. The interesting thing was, like, everything on that tool was made from materials he had in his shop, so the metal and everything. I'm guessing the carbide cutter maybe he didn't have, but pretty much almost a free tool. So awesome job on that. Thanks for sharing that. So if you have any photos or cool projects, and you want to be mentioned on the show, definitely send that over. Just email it to me, or you can hit me up on Facebook or wherever and just let me know about it, and I'll add that to the weekly updates. So thanks for sending those in. The other thing that I do want to mention is Woodworker Safety Day is May 15th coming up. I'm going to be doing a video kind of talking about dust collection, dealing with the resins when you're working with that. So just kind of a quick video that I think I can kind of talk about. I haven't really seen that topic mentioned necessarily. So be looking for that. I should be probably getting that out like next week, or somewhere around the 15th of May. So is when it'll be posted that week. So anyway, if you have any comments or questions, definitely leave those below on YouTube or wherever you see this, and you can email me at Zach@NV I definitely appreciate all the subscribers. Thanks for all the views and all the support from everybody on YouTube, and and everywhere else. I really do appreciate it. It's really fun being able to kind of share what I know and get help when I need it and all that kind of stuff. So it's really fun. Other than that, I guess I will see you in the next video. Again, if you want to, you can go and find me on Facebook and Twitter. I post pretty regular updates there. I'm on Google Plus too, so check me out all over the social medias. And other than that, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
You